make the most out of having a professional wedding photographer. So I have roped John into doing this. You're a little bit nervous, but you'll be alright.
I'm fine.
So we've got a couple of things written down to talk about, either just to kind of help you if you're on the hunt for a good wedding photographer, how to know what to look for, how to work out what kind of style you like and things like that, and also how to make the most out of having them, so what to chat about in the run-up and all of that stuff. So what do you think is the most important thing to look for in finding your perfect wedding photographer?
Well, it completely depends on your requirements, really. I mean, if you want a formal type photographer, obviously look for a formal type photographer.
With all the mother of the bride, granny of the bride, all set up.
Exactly. If you like that kind of thing, don't have me. That's the first thing. But yeah, it's completely depends on style. So if you want a kind of documentary style like I do, then look around, Google it. But usually, most of the time, most of my clients come from personal recommendations. So if some of your friends have had a wedding photographer they liked, or they like their style on Facebook or however you've seen their images, then usually that's the best way, because then obviously personal recommendations are much better than Google rankings.
Yeah. And we're going to insert some of John's photos, some of your favourite ones in here, if we're talking about anything specific for you guys, just so you can check out his work. Obviously, I think it's awesome because he's going to be doing my wedding. Well, I hope it'll be good. It better be good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's important as well to kind of have a look around and make sure you look at a lot of websites. Don't just find one and be like, oh yeah, that's okay, I like it. Have a look around a lot of people.
I think that's quite a good thing to do.
It was cool for me actually, because in the process of doing the blog with Hannah, we've seen so many different photographers work from all these real weddings. That you kind of get a real idea of who you liked, and you can tell kind of instantly. And I really like that kind of contemporary, as you described it. I would say it's more kind of arty and a bit more kind of edited in terms of the lighting is adjusted and things like that. I quite like that. I quite like the photos with a bit of kind of dark mood, you know what I mean, in the background, you know what I mean?
I do a combination of both. I do dark moody ones, and then I do some really bright background ones, so it's kind of contrasting.
The lovey-dovey ones.
Exactly, a bit of both. So you have to have the lovey-dovey ones, you have to have the funny ones, that have to have some humour in there, because at the end of the day it is your mates, and everything. So try and do a bit of both, really. Yeah, so what else do you think is important to kind of look for? Yes, you have to look into the details of the package. So some photographers will
rip you off.
In your case, apparently. So you have to look at the details of the package. So do they give you the full res the files, or do they give you the low res files with their copyright all over it, so you can't actually use them? So you have to make sure that looking at their package, say they offer 300 photos, like what I do. It's I offer 300 to 400 photographs,
and they're all the actual pictures, not with a copyright.
Exactly. So they're all really big files, so that you can print them out to whatever you want to do with them. And so I give you reproduction rights, so you can basically print them however you want.
Which I think is really important, because I actually looked at quite a few photographers where they'll offer you, say, a package, and you'll pay a lot of money for them to come and take the photos. Then they'll give you 60 photos of the day, and then you have to pay per photo after that.
Another important thing is that you meet the photographer beforehand. It's quite important to not just like the images of the photographer, is to also to like him or her.
Which is a bit of an issue here, because I hate you.
It's terrible, I know. It's definitely a good thing to do, because it's all very well them taking lovely photographs of other couples, but if you don't get on with your photographer, he'll be around all day.
If they irritate you, that's the most. If they come over and annoy you with any of their questions, or don't do it. The best thing that I found when I met you is the fact that you're actually the same age as Mike and I. So
not many photographers are like that, actually.
No, it's quite rare, I think, as well. Obviously, I'm not that experienced in getting married and wedding photographers. It's the first time. It's the first time. But in terms of actually having someone who's quite young and you have a bit more in common with, so it's not awkward you coming over and being like, oh, this is what we want to do, and it's not too formal. It's quite
that's the basis of what I try to do as a business. I don't want it to be formal. I want you to feel very comfortable, and if you don't feel comfortable, you're not going to have good photographs.
Moving on to the more kind of how to get the most out of hiring a professional photographer, rather than saying to, for example, a friend who is good at photography, can you take pictures of my wedding? That can often end in disaster. But in order to make the most of kind of employing somebody to take the photos at your wedding, what do you think are the important things to kind of discuss with them beforehand, or organise with them beforehand?
Well, I've had actually a lot of people saying, oh, you know, we were going to get, you know, you, but Uncle Bob is really good at photography. He's got a really big camera.
Yeah.
And I always think it's scary to do that, because obviously Uncle Bob might know a bit about photography, but he doesn't know about the intricacies of wedding.
Yeah.
And of a wedding, and it's like it's much more people management than, you know, and photography as well. It's all about that kind of stuff. You need to know what's going to happen before it happens. Yeah. So what I do beforehand is I give you an information sheet, you know, that I email over before, and says, you know, what formal photographs do you like, and basically what you want out of the day, and what kind of photographs you want me to take. And it varies throughout, you know, every couple wants something different. So if you want, you know, quite romantic portraits, then great.
Cheesy kissing ones.
Cheesy kissing ones, you can have that. If you don't want that and have more fun ones like you guys want, then we can do that as well. So it's quite important to say to your photographer, you know, what kind of images you would like. You
mentioned as well, it's important to actually go through the list that you provide and actually give the names of who's going, so that you can kind of hand that on to an usher or whoever's in charge of kind of organising people on the day, and so you know, they know what's going on, and it just makes it like less stressful. So
it's good to organise. Obviously you will organise it beforehand, but to organise who's going to be in the photos. So literally 1 to 10, or however many you want, usually not over 10. 1 to 10, you know, who's going to be bride and groom and parents, etc, etc. So everyone knows exactly when and who's going to be in the photographs.
Another thing that we were also talking about is the albums that the photographer offers, because a lot of the time you will produce the album for the couple instead of giving them just the photos, so you'll do a professional like bound album.
So like throughout the day I'm mentally making a note of what photos will look good in an album. So I might go, oh, that's quite a good portrait of you by the window or whatever, and then I'll have lots of details of your dress maybe. And throughout the day I go, oh, that'll be good for that page, that'll be good as a double spread. And I don't think,
instead of just smashing them all together and
exactly. And you know, that'll look good in black and white, that won't look good in black and white, and all that kind of thing. You kind of half thinking about on the day.
And it's like you as well have a kind of set of albums that you use and a selected, what would you call it, printer, that's the word, that will do all the albums for you. And I think that's quite cool as well, because I think a lot of people think, oh, we can just do it, like make our own album and do this, but like the quality and stuff, you obviously spend a lot of time looking for your favourite, like the best
producers of the albums. So I know exactly how they work. I also know what the print quality is going to be like. I also know what the colour is going to be like. You're paying a lot for your wedding photographer, so it's important to know that your end product is going to be, you know, professional. So it's all very well paying a lot, and then
getting a CD with all the images.
Sending all the images, and then you're printing out the album yourself, and you get a really rubbish album that doesn't look anything like the, you know, what the photos looked out on the page, and that's quite important. So
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. All of the information of where you can find John's work and his website and all of that stuff will be in the information bar below if you're interested in hiring him as a wedding photographer. As you can tell, he's a really nice guy, and he hasn't taken my photos yet, but all his other ones are awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I will be back very soon in another video with Hannah, and until then, don't forget to subscribe if you like this, and give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Pay X amount.
Pay sex.
You don't pay sex.
Sex.
Yeah, so you're paying a lot for your wedding photographer. You pay a lot for your wedding photographer. God!
Let's do it, I'm not gonna lie.
You pay for sex. You pay... And now my face has turned a completely different colour.
She's actually in the other room, but she couldn't fit in the frame. But I will be back.
That sounds terrible. I've got that too.
Bye!
If I do that, you might actually put that up.